Hello, my dear students, and the rest of the learners. Welcome to part 19 of a 25-part series of tutorials on creating presentations using Microsoft PowerPoint. In this tutorial, we are going to look at adding multimedia to a presentation. My name is Memeji M, or you can simply call me Emily Swap. Music and sound. You can add music and sounds from files on your computer, a network, or the internet. You can also record your own sounds to add to a presentation or use music from a CD. You insert music or sounds on a slide, and a sound icon that represents the sound file appears. To play the music or sound, you can set it to start automatically when the slide displays start on a mouse click, start automatically, but with a time delay, or play as part of an animation sequence. If you don't want the icon to be visible, you can drag it off the slide and set up the sound to play automatically. If Microsoft PowerPoint doesn't support a particular media type or feature, and it cannot play a sound file, you can try playing it in Microsoft Windows Media Player, which is part of Microsoft Windows and plays multimedia files in PowerPoint when you insert the sound as an object. You need speakers and a sound card on your computer to play music and sounds. To find out what's installed and what settings are in use, check the multimedia and sound settings in Windows Control Panel. By default, sounds are automatically linked to your file rather than embedded in it if they are greater than 100 kilobytes in size. You can change this default to be more or less than 100 kilobytes. When your presentation has linked files, you must copy the linked files as well as the presentation if you are going to be giving the presentation on another computer. To add music or sound effect to a slide, you display the slide to which you wanted to add music or sound effects. Then on the Insert menu, you click on Audio button and select either of the following. Audio on my PC option to select audio from the storage media, then browse for your audio file, select it, and then click Insert. Number 2 is you can record your own audio. So you can click on Record Audio in order to record your own sound, then click on Record button under the Record Sound dialog box and click on OK once you are done with the recording. Then you position the audio object, or call it audio icon, for the sound where you would like it to be within your presentation and set its properties by clicking on it, then clicking on either Format or Playback under the Audio Tools menu, then setting its respective attributes as needed. You can also set its animation attributes from the Animations menu, just like any other object in the slide. The following is a demonstration on how to add music or sound effects to a slide in the presentation by the title Introduction to Emily Swap. For example, in this presentation by the title Introduction to Emily Swap, we can add some sound or some music on some of the various objects. For example, if I click on slide number 4 and I want to add some sound to the animation, what I just need to do is, for example, to select Mukristo Usilie that way, and then you click on Insert menu. And then there are two things you can do. You can click on audio or record audio. However, before we do that, let me show you how you can add sound to your animation. What you just need to do is to click the object that you have already animated. For example, I can click on this object, and then I can click on animations, and of course I can see I have swivel. So I can click on swivel, and then I can click on animation pane. Once I've clicked on animation pane and I have selected, for example, ML swaps, other jobs, I can click on that object and animation pane. I can click on that button, and then I can click on effect options. After clicking on effect options, there is this button here, or there is this option here for enhancements. And then we have sound. So I can click on this button for sound, and I can choose a sound that is already in my computer. For example, applause way. So I can click, for example, applause way, and then I can click on OK. So we have added the sound applause. I can even select another one. For example, let's go to slide number 1. If I want to add sound to, for example, introduction to ML swap, I can click on it. You can see the animation is flying. So I can click on the task pane on that object, and then I click on this button, and then I can click on effect options. And then under sound, I can select sound, or I can even move on and choose other sound. So for example, let me click on other sound. Then you browse for the sound that you want. For example, let me click on Yesu Niwadela, and then you click OK. And finally, you click OK. So we have added a sound. If I play slideshow and I click from animation slide, and then if I click on this option, you can see we have a challenge. You might have noticed that after adding my sound to this object and choosing a song, my presentation program, that is PowerPoint, has closed arbitrarily, meaning that maybe I have selected a song whose capacity is bigger than the required, or whose type does not or is not compatible with my PowerPoint program. And that's why it has closed arbitrarily. So you can choose either sound that is pre-installed, or you can choose other sound for your objects. Now, let's do something else. Other than adding sound as part of an animation, you can also add sound as a standalone object. How do you do, or how do you add sound? You click on Insert menu, and then you click on Audio, this button here, Audio. And then you can click Audio on my PC, or can choose Record Audio. Let me click on Audio on my PC. Once you have clicked Audio on my PC, You can browse for the sound or for the audio that you want. For example, a song. For example, let me click on music. And then I can choose audio composition. Then there's this album called Jawab Lako. And then I can choose, for example, Wokovu. And then I click Insert. When you look at this presentation, you can see that an icon for the sound has been added in my presentation. This means that that sound has now become part of my slide. It is now an object. If I click on play, for example, if I click on this button, my song will play. I don't know whether you can hear the sound. And then you can always click on stop. So I have added my sound on my presentation. From there, you can add other animation effects. For example, you can click on your sound and then you can add animation to it. For example, I can click on animations and then I can click, for example, appear. And then I can click on animation pane, click on my object. This way, I can click on it that way. And then on the animation pane, I can click on effect options. And then I can proceed and add further sound to make it appear or when it is appearing. But because that's a song is already a sound, I don't need to add any other sound. I can click on timing tab and decide whether to play automatically or on click. So let me set, for example, with the previous. That means that after the last animation is effected, then my song can be played automatically. Delay 0. Do I want to repeat? No. Then I can click OK. Let me run this presentation and then we see what will happen. If it will stop again as has happened, let me click on slideshow and then I can click from the current slide and then I can click. Then I can click that way and then from there, do you hear the song? No. So it means I have to click it so that it can play. And then you can see if I click on my screen, it is able to play. Or you can click on it. Then you can stop the song. Let me go back. So there we are. Other than adding a sound, for example, a song that is already stored in your storage media, you can also decide to record something within the presentation. So to record sound, you click on Insert menu and then click on Audio button and choose Record Audio. You can see a dialog box for recording sound has appeared. You can then type the name for the recorded sound. For example, let me call it example. So you type and the name, and then you can click on this button to record. So you can see that the recording is already in progress. You can see the total sound length is changing from 14, 15, 16, all the way. So you can record whatever you want to record, and once you're done, you click on OK, or you can click on the cancel to cancel the recording. So let me click on OK. You can see that after clicking on OK, the sound button has been added on my presentation. And you can see it has also been added under the animation pane. So if I want to set more of its attributes, I can click on this button here, and then I can choose, for example, timing, or I can choose start with the previous. Let me click on timing. Once you click on timing, you can, for example, click or choose the option for with the previous, set the delay that you want. Do you want to repeat? You want to repeat? You click on the number of times you want to repeat, for example, 3. Or you can click on rewind so that it is replayed once it is done or once it is completed. And finally, you click on OK. Let's see. You can hear. Listen. So you can hear, I don't know if you've been able to hear, but as you can see, I have the sound for my recording here. You can always choose whether to click so that it is played, or you set the attributes so that it is played automatically after the previous animation. Now, if you look carefully, I have this icon for this song, and I have this icon for my recording, and both of them are written as 2. You can see even this text is animation number 2. So you have to change that. So you can click on the animation pane, click on start on click. Also, click on walkover, and maybe start with the previous if you want it to be automatic. But remember to click on timing and set your time. That is under timing here. Set the time for the delay. And then you click OK once you are done. So I have canceled that. If I want it to be played by clicking on the slide, I can choose on click. The example also, I can choose start on click. Therefore, if I, for example, demonstrate this slide, and I do that way, then that, and then I click on that button, the song can be played. If I want to stop it, I click on that button. I can also play my recording. And then to stop it, I just need to click on that button. So my dear students and the rest of the learners, that's how you add sound or you record sound in your presentation, and you can set it as a different object or entity within the slide with its own placeholder, or you can set sound as part of an animation, just as I've demonstrated. So just as I've already said, you can also add a sound to an animation. The text or object must already have an animation applied to it before you can complete this process. On the slide, just as you have seen, you select the text or object you want to add an additional effect to. And then you click on Animations menu and select Animations pane if it's not already displayed. In the Animations task pane, click the arrow on the selected item in the animation list and then click Effect Options. On the Effect tab, under Enhancements, click the arrow in the sound list and do one of the following. If you wanted to add a sound from the list, click an option. If you want to add a sound from a file, click Other Sound, and then navigate the file, click on it, and click Open. Under the Appear dialog box, you can set enhancements under Effect tab, Timings under Timings tab, and Animation Attributes under the Text Animations, and finally click on OK. The following is therefore a demonstration on how to add a sound to an animation in the presentation by the title, Introduction to MLSwap. So let's add some sound to some other elements. Let me click on slide number 2. Once you click on the slide with the items that you wanted to add sound to, you click on the object or on the item. For example, if you want to add sound to Introduction to MLSwap, you click on it. And then you click on Animations. Already, you can see it has animations. And this animation is fly in. If it has no animation, I have to set an animation first. Once you do that, you click on the animation pane if it's not there. So if you find that the animations pane like this one is not displayed, you click on this tab here for animation pane, and then it will appear. But if you click on it again, when it is displayed, as you can see, it disappears. So let me click on animation pane. Once you have clicked on animation pane and the animation pane has appeared, you click on that item that you want to add sound to. And then you click on this button and you click on Effect Options. Under the Effect Options, you click on Effects tab, and then under Enhancements below here, you choose or you click on this button or this arrow, and then you choose the sound of your choice. Remember, you can always click on Other Sound to add sound that is stored somewhere in your storage media. So in this case, let me choose typewriter. And then you can choose how long you want the sound to delay. And then you click on OK. You can hear the sound is played. If I click there again, I can choose another sound if I want. And remember, you can choose whether to start on click or to start with the previous or to start after previous. So I want to leave those other settings. Always remember to click on Save button. And that's how you add sound to an animation. Now, other than inserting sound, either as part of animation or as separate elements, you can also insert movies. Movies and desktop video files with the formats such as AVI, QuickTime, and MPEG, and file extensions such as .avi, .mov, .qt, .mpg, and .mpeg. A typical movie might include a speaker talking, an executive, for example, who is not able to be at the actual presentation. Or you might use a movie to demonstrate a type of training. You can add movies to slides from the slides that already you have, or you can add movies to slides from files on your computer, a network, or intranet, or the internet. To add the movie, insert it onto the specific slide using commands on the insert menu. There are several ways you can start it. Have it play automatically when the slide displays. Click it with the mouse or create a timing for it so that it displays after a certain delay. It can also be part of an animation sequence. Although accessed through the insert menu, movie files are automatically linked to your presentation rather than embedded inside it like pictures or drawings. When your presentation has linked files, you must copy the linked files as well as the presentation if you need to show the presentation on another computer. If Microsoft PowerPoint won't play a movie, then what you need to do, or what are you supposed to do? If Microsoft PowerPoint won't play a movie file, you try to play the movie in Windows Media Player. First, test the movie outside of the PowerPoint by opening Windows Media Player and opening your file from the file menu. If the movie doesn't play, Windows Media Player gives you detailed error messages and a help link that can help you troubleshoot the problem. If the movie plays in Windows Media Player, you can then insert it from within PowerPoint by clicking Object on the Insert menu and inserting it as a media clip. A movie that you play in PowerPoint using Windows Media Player cannot have animation settings and special timings assigned to it. Instead, you play it by clicking buttons in the Windows Media Player. So how do you add a movie to a slide? To add a movie to a slide, you do the following. You display the slide to which you wanted to add a movie. Then on the Insert menu, click on the video button and select either Online Video to select it from online or video on my PC. Then browse for the video, click it, and click Insert button. Position your video in the slide as required and set its attributes as necessary, such as adding animation if need be. The following is therefore a demonstration on how to add a movie to a slide in the presentation by the title, Introduction to MLSwap. So in this presentation, if I wanted to add, for example, a movie, like a movie for welcoming my audience to a YouTube channel, I can, for example, go to a slide number 12. Then I can insert a new slide so that my movie is on its own slide. So I can insert or click on Insert menu, and then I can click on New Slide. I choose blank. From here, I may type the title as listen, or I can type a message like listen, listen, listen to the welcome message for MLSwap MLSwap. Listen to the welcome message for MLSwap ICT YouTube channel. And then from there, my dear students and the rest of the learners, we can insert a movie or a video. To do that, you click on Insert menu, and then you click on Video. Then choose video on my PC. You can then browse for the video. So let me click on creating presentations folder, and then I go to presentations materials. Then I choose channel intros or introductions. Then I can click on MLSwap ICT channel trailer. Let me click it. And then you click on insert. You can see that we have been able to insert a video on my slide. So once you have inserted your movie on the slide, then you need to proceed and resize it so that it can fit within your slide or as you need. So to resize a movie, you do the following. You position the mouse pointer over one of the sizing handles, and then to increase or decrease the size in one or more directions, you drag the mouse away from or towards the center. For additional control, you do any of the following. To keep the center of the movie in the same place, you hold down the Control key on your keyboard while dragging the mouse. To keep the movie from snapping to the grid after sizing, you press Alt key or dragging the mouse. You then release the mouse and release the Control or the Alt key. The following is therefore a demonstration on how to resize a movie in a presentation by the title Introduction to MLSwap. So in this presentation, you have seen that after we have inserted this movie, it has occupied a larger space than we want. So to reduce or to resize it, you can click on any of its handles. Now the handles are these edges. There's this edge, there's this one, there's this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So let me point on this edge. Once my mouse pointer are changed, I can drag inwards, for example, that way, up to that level. So if I wanted to enlarge it, I would drag it this way. But let me retain it to this size. Let me have it that way. So that's one way of sizing the movie or resizing the movie. Remember, if I click on play, that is how it looks. My dear viewers, and of course, so I can also move it a little bit so that I can center it on my presentation that way. So that's how, or that's one way of resizing the movie in your presentation. You can also set the movie attributes for resizing the movie while playing it as follows. You click on the movie object, then click on the playback and the video tools menu. Then check the checkbox for play full screen for full screen, or uncheck the checkbox to have the video played in its size within the slide. You can also check the checkbox for height while not playing. The following is therefore a demonstration on how to set the movie attributes for resizing a movie in a presentation by the title Introduction to Emily Swap. To do that, in this presentation, of course, you click on your movie that way. Once you have clicked on your movie object, you can see we have video tools where we have format and playback. So you click on playback. Once you click on playback, you can see we have this button here for play full screen. So you can check the checkbox if it is not checked so that it reads or so that the play full screen is activated. Meaning, when you click on play, it will be or it will take or to occupy the full screen. If you want to hide while not playing, you click on that button for hide while not playing. Let me not hide it, so I uncheck it. Let's see how that attribute will work. Always remember to save your changes. So if I click, for example, on slideshow, if I click on slideshow menu, and then I click from beginning, this is how it will look. So if I click on play, you can see it has occupied the full screen. For free information and communication sources. And then you can always pause your video, and even you can press escape key to go back to your presentation or to your video. And that's how you set the attributes for playing the video from the playback and the video tools. In addition, you can always preview a movie in a presentation. In normal view, you display the slide, then click on slideshow menu and select either from the beginning or from the current slide based on where your movie is placed in the slides. If you set up the movie to play when you click it, you will have to click it to play it. Or if you have inserted a movie as an object to play in Microsoft Windows Media Player, you may have to click stop, start, and the pause buttons. So the following is a demonstration on how to preview a movie in a presentation by the title Introduction to Emily Swap. So after inserting my movie, if I want to preview it, I can just click on this button for play. So I can just click on play. And then you can pause it. So you can preview your video in that manner. Or you can click on slideshow. You can click on slideshow, and then you can have a preview of the same by clicking, for example, on from beginning or from current slide. So for now, I don't do that because my video has been inserted and it is being played in the media player, and therefore I can always click on the play button for it. If I want to forward, I can just click inside it that way. If I want to move forward, I can click on that button for move forward. And if I want to move backwards, I can click that. So that's how you preview your video after you have inserted it in your presentation. You can also decide to loop a movie, just as we looped the sound. To loop a movie, or when you loop a movie, the file plays until you advance to the next slide. To be able to loop a movie, you click on the movie icon, then click on playback and the video tools menu. Specify how to start the movie by selecting either on click or automatically and the start drop-down list. Then check the checkbox for loop until stopped. Check the checkbox for rewind after playing. So the following is a demonstration on how to loop a movie in a presentation by the title Introduction to Emily Swap. So if I want to set this video to loop, what I need to do is to click on the playback and the video tools menu. So let me click on playback and the video tools menu. Once you click on playback, you'll be able to see the following items or options. We have loop until stopped and rewind after playing. So you can select or you can check this checkbox for loop until stopped. You can also click on this other one for rewind after playing. By so doing, you'll be able to have your video repeat and repeat as long as you want within your presentation. And that's how you set the loop, or that's how you loop a video or a movie in your presentation. In addition, you can decide to start your movie or sound automatically or on mouse click. The steps below are for movie or sound files on a slide that has no custom animation sequences or animation skips. So you click on the sound or movie icon that you have inserted, and then click on playback and the audio or video tools menu. And the start drop-down list, select automatically or on click. So the following is a demonstration on how to insert a movie or sound automatically on mouse click. So here is our movie. If I click on this movie and then I click on the playback under the video tools menu, you see I will have this button here. You can see that I have this button, start. So under start, you can click here and then choose either only click or automatically. So if I wanted to start when I click in my presentation, or when I click it, I'll choose on click. If I wanted to appear automatically, I'll choose automatically. So let me choose on click. You can also delete a movie or sound object from a slide. How do you do it? On the slide, click the movie or sound icon to select it, and then press delete. Repeat for each slide you want to delete the file from, either the sound or the movie. If the movie or GIF is on a slide master, you only need to delete it from the slide master. To display the slide master, on the view menu, you click slide master. The following is therefore a demonstration on how to delete a movie or sound object from a slide in a presentation by the title Introduction to Emily Swap. So if, for example, I want to delete this movie that I've added, what I just need to do is to click on my movie. And then I can click on Home menu. Do you see the lead? No. What about under Insert? Do you see the lead? No. Okay. What about under Playback? If I click under Video Tools, then I click Playback. If you look carefully on your screen or on your heading, we don't have anything to do with delete. So how do you delete? Now to delete your movie, you click on it and then you press the delete key on your keyboard. Let me press it. You can see that my movie has disappeared. So because I want to retain my movie, let me click on undo. But if I want them to do with it, I'll just click on save button and I will have saved the changes. So that's how you delete a video or a sound object from your presentation. Now, other than inserting sound or a movie, you can also decide to record your narration as you make the presentation, so that as you proceed or as you progress with the slides, your narration can also be played. Therefore, you might want to add a narration to a presentation in the following cases: for a web-based presentation, for archiving a meeting so that presenters can review it later and hear comments made during the presentation, for self-running slideshow presentations. Your computer must be equipped with a sound card, a microphone, and speakers for you to record and hear a narration. You can record the narration before you run a presentation or record it during the presentation and include audience comments in the meeting. If you don't want narration throughout the presentation, you can record comments on selected slides. When you are finished with recording a narration, a sound icon normally appears on each slide where you have recorded. You can either click the icon to play the sound or set up the sound to play automatically. Because voice narration takes precedence over other sounds, if you have inserted another sound to play automatically in the presentation, it gets overridden by the narration. As you record, Microsoft PowerPoint records the amount of time you have taken on each slide. You can choose to save these slide timings with the narration, or you can set slide timings separately. Slide timings are especially useful if you want the presentation to run throughout automatically. You can turn them off when you don't want the presentation to use them. You have a choice to either link or embed the narration. If you embed the narration sound file becomes part of the presentation and it travels with the presentation. However, embedding the narration results in large file size. If you want the file size to be smaller, you can link the narration. The file is then stored where you specify on your hard drive or any storage media and plays with the presentation. If you present the show on a different computer, you must carry the linked sound file with you and install it on that other computer. A linked file will also play faster because audience needs and computer equipment varies. Consider accompanying your narration with notes. This benefits everyone who is deaf or hard of hearing or whose computer lacks a sound card. If you save the presentation as a web page, that is .html file, the notes will appear beneath each slide as it displays. If you save it as a presentation, that is .ppt for PowerPoint file, you can print out the notes and make them available to your audience. How do you record a voice narration? When you record a narration, you run through the presentation and record on each slide. You can pause and resume recording. To record a voice narration, you need a sound card, a microphone, and speakers. Then, On the outline tab or slides tab in normal view, you select the slide icon or thumbnail that you want to start the recording on. On the slideshow menu, or you click on slideshow menu and then click on record slideshow and select either start recording from current slide or start recording from the beginning. From the record slideshow dialog box, select what you want to record by checking or unchecking the respective options. Then click on start recording button. Then record your narration as you move through the slides until you come to the blank exit screen and click it. You can always click on pause recording and resume recording buttons respectively as you progress with the recording. The narration icon will be inserted on your slide once done, and you can drag it to where you want in the slide. By default, the narration will be played once you commence the slideshow, and slides will transit automatically as narration proceeds. The following is therefore a demonstration on how to record a voice narration in a presentation by the title, Introduction to MLSwap. So while in this presentation, I can, for example, do my narration from the first slide. So for me to do the narration, after clicking on the first slide, let me double click it. I want this slide to close, but my PowerPoint presentation is not very fast to respond. So let me click on first slide. When you are on the first slide, remember, I have several sounds here. However, I can still add my narration. So if I add my narration, it will automatically override these other sounds that I have. So let me skip first slide. Let me move to second slide. So that is slide number 2. I can do my narration from slide number 2. So for me to be able to add my narration, I'll click on slideshow menu and then click on record slideshow. So let me click on record slideshow. Then you can choose either to start recording from the beginning or start recording from current slide. So let me choose start recording from current slide. You can see we have a record slideshow dialog box, and you are told select what you want to record before you begin recording. Do you want to record the slide and transition or animation timings? Yes. Do you want narrations, ink, and laser pointer? Yes. So you check them. Mine are only checked. Then you click on start recording. Once you click on start recording, you can see that the recording has already begun, and therefore you can now proceed. So, for example, if you're making this presentation and you read Introduction to MLSwap, so you can say that this slide, or the purpose of this slide, is to introduce MLSwap to the audience. And MLSwap is already giving a welcome message. And this welcome message reads as follows. Hello, my dear reader. Welcome for the introduction to MLSwap. May I take this opportunity to sincerely thank you for having remained my loyal students and even for choosing either to learn with me or to share my content with either your colleagues, your classmates, or even your students. Click here for more information about MLSwap. So as you proceed, you can say that this is MLSwap's picture, and you can continue speaking as the presentation proceeds. MLSwap short description, and you can see that here we have introduction to MLSwap's YouTube channel. And then we have the first channel, the second channel, the third channel. Once you are done with doing your recording, You don't need to continue up to the end of the presentation. You can always click on this button, like this toolbar button, and then click on add or remove buttons. But what I need to do is to close. So I can click on the close button, this one. So let me click it. You can see that after clicking on the close button, there is a sound icon or narration that has been added here. If I run this slideshow, if I click on slideshow, then from current slide, you hear the narration. So you can hear that the narration is playing, and you can see. So that's what we call inserting a narration in the presentation. You can also record a sound or a voice comment on a single slide. How do we do that? To record and hear a sound or a comment, you need a sound card, a microphone, and speakers. Then display the slide you want to add a sound or a comment to. Click on Insert menu, then click on Audio and select Record Audio. At the Record Sound dialog box, click Record. In the name box, type a name for the sound and then click OK. A sound icon appears on the slide that you can move to any part of your slide. So the following is a demonstration on how you can record sound or a voice comment in a presentation by the title Introduction to MediSwap. So if I wanted to add some comment or some sound on one of the slides, for example, I can go to slide number 5, that one. So if I want to record some comment or some sound on this slide, maybe concerning this artistic design here, or one that, I can just click on Insert menu, and then I'll click on Audio, and then click on Record Audio. Under the Record Audio dialog box, as you can see, you can type the name of your audio. For example, let me write it, or let me call it explanation. And then I can click on Record button to start recording. Now you can see that the recording has begun, and already the timing is in progress. So whatever I'm speaking is being recorded. So I can proceed, for example, and say something. Like, for example, this slide illustrates some of the things that MediSwap does. It reads as MediSwap's artistic works, and it has a reflection. So once you are done with recording, your sound, you click on OK button. So let me click on OK button. There we go. After clicking on OK button, you can see that a sound icon has been added on my presentation. If I click on slideshow menu, and then I click from current slide, if I click on that button, you hear the comment. So it's already playing. To stop it, I'll click on stop. So that's how you add a comment on a slide or some sound on a specific slide. Sometimes you may not want the narration, so you may want to turn narration on or off in a presentation. How do you do that? You click on slideshow menu, then check on or uncheck, check or uncheck the checkbox for play narration. So the following is a demonstration on how to turn narration on or off in a presentation by the title, Introduction to MLSwap. So if I want to stop narration in this presentation or in this slide, what I just need to do is to click on slideshow menu, as you can see, and then I can check or uncheck the checkbox for play narrations. Like currently, the play narration checkbox is ticked, meaning that my presentation is able to play the narration. If I want to remove the narrations or to stop the narrations, I only need to uncheck that checkbox that way. So even if I play my slide or my presentation, the narrations will not be played because I have removed narrations. In other words, I have clicked on play narrations. So whereas the narrations are still in my presentation, they will not be played because I have clicked on or I've removed the checkbox. I have unchecked the play narrations. But if I want them to remain, I just need to check it that way. And that's how you play or you stop narrations from your presentation or within your presentation. And with that, my dear students and the rest of the learners, we have come to the end of part 19 of our presentation. You can continue to part 20 of the 25-part series of tutorials in which we are going to learn on how to add transitions and timings in the presentation. Congratulations for learning part 19 of 25 on adding multimedia to a presentation in Creating Presentations series. You can access the rest of the parts in the series, as well as other computer or ICT videos, by clicking or tapping on MLSwap ICT YouTube channel below this video. To subscribe to the channel, tap on subscribe button below this video in YouTube if it's not currently reading as subscribed. For any further correspondence, kindly write it to us through the email mlswap@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening to me, and God bless.